I think it's just not to judge a book by its cover and to take the time to get to know each other, particularly right now. It feels like we're so polarized. There's so many, we're always fighting. It would be just so nice if we could just take a moment to like kind of breathe and see the other one's perspective and just connect again and come together again.
Hi, Isla. I'm Tania from PopCulture.com, and I'm so excited to talk to you about Back to the Outback. This was one of my favorite movies, I think, this year on Netflix. It was so funny. I think it's such a warm family film. But correct me if I'm wrong, you haven't done an animated movie in a while. I think Rise of the Guardians was last in like maybe 10 years ago, 2012. What was it about Back to the Outback that really attracted you to this role?
I think it was just that it's a love letter to Australia, and I'm an Aussie, and it was also the story. I thought there was something so sweet about this sort of like motley crew of deadly creatures that are sort of outcast by society that go on this journey together, and they all had such cute little individual personalities, and the way they interacted was so funny. And I thought it could just be something really special.
Yeah. And was it challenging to use more of your voice to emphasize your character versus being on screen in a live action and using your expressions and your body and all that to amplify a story?
No, I think it's for me personally, I really enjoy not having to be dressed up or feeling self-conscious, like not having to have a camera on, but just getting to sort of like screw your face up to find any emotion you need for the scene. So no, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I suppose the only slightly challenging part is that you don't have your scene partner in front of you. So when it comes to comedy, it's hard to like guess the tone. But Harry Cripps, our director, writer, and Claire Knight, our other director, they would play back Tim Minchin, particularly who plays, Pretty Boy. They would play back his voice for the sort of more complex scenes so that I could make sure that I wasn't tonally off in the scene.
Yeah. You can't really tell. I feel like the chemistry even between the characters is so natural and organic. I actually thought you guys were like in opposing booths, like beside each other, but that's incredible. Have you met Tim? Did you get to know a lot of the cast? Have you met them before?
I have met Tim a few times. Actually, Tim, I went to high school in Perth, and Tim went to a girls' school, and Tim's boys' school that he went to was next door. So we actually shared mutual friends, and I did I think I did a theater production with him called Simplicity Smith, and we sort of had similar friends. So I knew Tim a little growing up, and obviously I'm a huge fan of his. And then Eric Bana I saw recently when I was back in Sydney, which was fantastic. And then I saw Jackie Weaver the other night. So I have seen a few of the cast, and it's always fun to kind of connect and say, we did a movie together, but we never actually worked together.
Right. You play Maddie, who is a taipan snake, and that's a reptile that a lot of us would find scary and unwelcoming. Your character is so warm and sweet and just very thoughtful. So what is it about the contrast that makes the message of the movie so important and appealing?
Well, I think it's just this idea that she blossoms on the journey, that she, everything she hates about herself is actually what makes her special. And that's a great message, because if you love yourself, you're going to be okay. And even if you're a little bit deadly, like in Maddie's case. So I love that little idea. And also I love the fact that she developed into being such a fantastic leader and helping get everyone back to the Outback, and then really keeping everyone together. She was such a complicated character for a movie like this, where, usually you play someone and, it's animated, so it's a little more simple and basic. But this, I felt like there was a room for us all to get some great messages in, and her relationship with Pretty Boy develops into something, quite serious when they realize that he's also feeling marginalized too. He's this superficial, Instagram star koala bear, and he's also sort of being stereotyped and being judged for the outside. And yet she hasn't taken the time to see the real him either. And so she's guilty of the same thing. She's, she feels like he's not really seeing who she is. He's just seeing her as ugly. And I thought that scene was very well written, actually, and sensitive to that idea.
Yeah, the writing is so smart on this. I love that it appeals for the adults as well, but the kids get that message as well. It goes right to the heart. And I thought it was so refreshing to see a world outside of what the norm of animated films are set in. We get to see, we get to hear the Australian accents. We get to see the culture of Australia, which is so beautiful. And with that and the message of the movie, what is the biggest takeaway you want viewers to experience?
I think it's just not to judge a book by its cover and to take the time to get to know each other, particularly right now. It feels like we're so polarized. There's so many, we're always fighting. It would be just so nice if we could just take a moment to like kind of breathe and see the other one's perspective and just connect again and come together again.
Yeah. And I loved all these characters, Maddie and Pretty Boy. I think like they're BFFs now. And Pretty Boy had some very funny lines, which were like, they're so cute. And so do you think we're going to get a sequel for this movie? And if so, what would you like to see for the story?
I'd love there to be a sequel for this story. I think that landscape and those characters, it's just like we're just at the tip. We could go so much deeper with all of them and get to know, even Zoe and Frank and Nigel better and see them go on another adventure. Yeah, I'd like to see them go on another adventure.
Yeah. And I think it'd be funny to see where Chaz, like his origin story, because, he was so funny that way. But, before I do let you go, Isla, I love you so much. I've been such a big fan of yours for years. And one of your movies has meant so much to me in like times of need and stuff. And it was Wedding Crashers. And so I love that movie. And I'm wondering, there are rumors going on about Wedding Crashers Part 2. So do you have anything can you weigh in on that? Do you know if that's happening? Can you give us?
I don't know. I know that a lot of people are trying to make that happen. And I guess it's a really important, or at least joyful memory for a lot of people. So hopefully we can make it come true. I'm definitely not in the loop as to what's happening right now, though.
Well, I hope we get to see that. And I hope we get to see more of Back to the Outback, because it was so phenomenal. Such a great movie, especially for the holiday season. So Isla, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Congrats again on the movie.
Thank you so much. It was nice to talk to you. Happy holidays.